Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to our weekly live show. I am Fabiana Clore, pianist and business strategist for musicians. I'm excited to connect today with all of you to share a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, something that has been at the core of everything that I've been working on, especially over the past 2 to 3 years, which is the best entrepreneurship opportunity for musicians. You see, we oftentimes hear a lot about the multiple ways that musicians can go about creating income. That you could do it this way, you could do it that way, you could teach, you could perform, you could have a combination of these activities. And we can oftentimes get caught up in thinking that musicians need to depend on these individual activities in order to build their careers and create their businesses. And what that leads to is a sense of having to do so much and not making enough money, even if you add all of them up, right? And so I really can relate to that because for a long time I was doing a lot of different things. And even with the addition of all of those things, I didn't feel that I was really making the income that I needed, that I wanted, that I knew I deserved. And yet I was spread so thin that I felt like, what else could I do? Like, how could I possibly work harder than what I'm doing? Right. And so it wasn't until I took a step back to really recognize that when we, instead of focusing on all these siloed activities as teachers, as performers, creators, whatever it is that we're doing, even administration related jobs. And instead, we package everything into an online brand. That is, in and of itself, the best entrepreneurial opportunity that musicians can use to be able to serve and work with people through some sort of a teaching or coaching or access to you opportunity that we can provide. You see, instead of thinking that people need to come to us to learn an instrument or people need to come to us to hire us to go perform someplace, if we say we're going to build an online presence, we are going to package all of our skills and show how what we have created throughout our lives can actually transform others in a certain way, right? Define, help position ourselves based on our experiences and not just on one experience, but on the combination of everything we bring to the table. Where did we grow up? What obstacles did we have to overcome? How did we come, victorious on the other side after overcoming these challenges? And really start putting together more of a story around what we have created and what we've been able to overcome, and thinking about how that can actually create some sort of a result for someone that can solve someone's problem. Perhaps someone is there where we were maybe 5, 10 years ago. Maybe there are people out there right now that are struggling with the same things that we struggled, and we can look for a way to package all of our skills and actually help people through these experiences, right? So for example, if you are a performer, you've been working a lot and doing lots of different performances here and there, even though you may think that your main super strength is the ability to play music and to perform, if you've been very successful at booking yourself in multiple venues and creating opportunities for yourself throughout the years, connecting with like minded musicians, building partnerships, building collaborations that have led you to being that type of a prolific performer, then guess what? Your biggest opportunity isn't simply in getting more gigs to continue to depend on how much time you spend on stage and how many performances you're able to get. Your biggest opportunity is your expertise in creating that type of a career. You now could potentially help other aspiring performers who want to be able to be placed in these gigs, who want to find ways to connect and create these opportunities. You are overlooking the fact that you have a skill set that is monetizable. Your only superpower is not just that you can play. It is that you know how to find performance opportunities for yourself. You know how to build relationships. You know how to create these opportunities that have allowed you to be a prolific performer. And you can actually use that to help others in creating that. And so the beautiful part about that is if you say, well, but I just want to keep playing, I love to play. Guess what? For you to coach others, to support others, to guide others, let's say in this specific example on creating more of a prolific career as a performer and finding performance opportunities and booking themselves often and frequently in different venues, your playing will be a testament to who you are, to what you represent, to your brand, because people are going to come to you so that you can help them find gigs and place themselves in different venues. For example, I'm using this specific example. And they're at the same time going to want to see you doing those things. There's no better way to inspire others than by modeling the actions that we want them to take, not simply by telling them. So by you continuing to do your performances, having your gigs here and there, that's actually going to help you with your packaging of your skills and help you reinforce your brand, the value that you can provide to others, help build your credibility, establish your authority. But yet you're not going to rely only on how much time you're on stage, how many gigs you're performing, and who's watching you and who's coming to you, right? And whether or not you're taking the tips that you wanted in that particular venue and whether you're making enough money based on that venue and that gig. No, you're going to have an online way to support other musicians who would need to know the behind the scenes of what it takes to become this type of a prolific performer, right? Let me give you another example. Let's say you are a, music educator, that you've been working with students and you've been learning how to transition perhaps from in person to online. And you've now been able to figure out and you have your studio, but yet you're struggling to really leverage your time wisely because somehow you're still working in a time versus money model, exchanging how much time you spend with students versus how much they pay you for the hour. And once you give out all of your time, once you've allocated your, 5, 8 hours a day, whatever you want to work, then your income is maxed out. Like you have no more ways of making money. Well, guess what? By stepping into this entrepreneurial opportunity and expanding how you serve your students, you can actually now capitalize not just on what you do in the role of being a music teacher, but you can look at other skill sets that you've developed throughout your life and think about how you can package your brand and position yourself in a different way that sets you apart from all the other music teachers and offer that experience as part of your lessons instruction. So I have clients, for example, who are interested in teaching music, but they also want to incorporate leadership skills, accountability habits, confidence skills, right? Empowerment traits into the way they teach piano, for example, right? And so these additional skills that you can infuse into the way you teach your instrument, right? Or whatever instrument you work with, give you an edge, immediately help you stand apart, and also give you an opportunity to not have to depend only on teaching the instrument, but also to be able to build additional teaching components into your curriculum that can provide for perhaps more group settings, group interactions, not only one on one, and allow you to leverage and scale your teaching studio and the way you work with students and package them in a more, holistic approach where you're teaching them, yes, music, but you're also infusing everything else you have to offer, right? So I want you to just think about this as this is the greatest entrepreneurial opportunity that we now have. And in the online space, people are more receptive than ever. In the time that we are living right now, there is a desperate need for connection. There's a desperate need for community. And as creative entrepreneurs, we are in a unique position to create these opportunities for our communities, to build spaces through the online delivery system. And by the way, people now are more receptive than ever to be taught online, to be guided online. So I just want you to watch this and think about how could you explore more strategically a better way to package your skills and to not have to be depending only on teaching one-on-one students or only on, performing in this or that gig. How can you take a step back and explore at more from a more, bird's eye view? What are all the skills you have to offer and how could you help people through a combination of these skills, not just one skill? And if this is something you're interested in learning even more about how to do it with more guidance, then I'm going to invite you to join me next week. I'm actually going to be doing a masterclass series for 5 days. I'm going to be walking you through exactly how to package your skills in this way, how to take a step back and assess all of the things you have to offer and understand how you can build your own brand and not have to rely on doing things in a single way anymore. How you can raise your rates, how you can win back your time, and create a life that is in alignment with your values, with the way you want to live your life, so that you can spend time practicing your instrument, performing, creating, being with your family, taking care of yourself, doing all the things that matter most to you, and most of all, avoiding burnout and overwhelm. So if this resonates with you, join me. I'm going to drop the link here so you can sign up, musiciansprofitmasterclass.com. And I look forward to guiding you step by step on how you can do this for your own career, your own life. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let's prosper together.